Alright, it's been a while, but here we are, the Labbing Millia himself. Coming back, not the most loyal person I have to say. Between the two options, I kind of am gravitating towards the Brazilian girl. But, you know, I gotta stay a little true to my roots. We're gonna be doing some Millia Labbing analysis today. I am here to bring us the Millia anti-mix tier list. So this is gonna be a tier list about how much mix Millia has against every character in Strive. It's not about what people are doing in ladder, it's about what people could be doing in ladder. So if you have the knowledge of a very, very experienced labber against Millia, this is what you could have to face up against, theoretically. So it's just going to be a lot of tech, but I'm going to try and make it as smooth as possible. So yeah, here is our 4-way mix always tiered. So we have Heavy Chaos, Testament, Jacko, Giovanna, Millia, Viken, and Anji. This is ordered also, but a lot of them are even. This is our baseline. And you might notice that some characters are mysteriously missing from this, like, say, May and some other characters. I mean, if you know, you know. And the only other thing I think to mention here is, like, Anji. Just gonna show, for example, how you punish Anji in case you didn't know. This is a tech that, as far as I know, and you can FD it too. This might be actually this might be a problem. All right, so moving up on the list, we're gonna have our next tier. So what's worse than 4-way mix? With 3-way mix. And it's these two. The only thing you can't do against these characters is double air dash JH. Or double air dash in general, unless it's immediate against Faust. So these 4 characters have reversals such that if you block them in the air, you do not get to punish them. That's basically the big thing. So in these ones, if you go for a hide option, or if you go for double air dash, there's no way in hell you're punching this unless you're really goated and you IB it. Oh my god, I actually got it first try too. I haven't really labbed it, but if Nago does go into Blood Rage, and then you hit him with like a H disc when he's in blood, and then he takes the mask off, or he puts the mask back on, the screen freezes, so you might not really have mix, depending on the situation, like where you get the 2D. But you have enough freedom with your routing such that you should be able to choose a good enough Oki, so it's not really that big of a factor. So this is going to be a pretty big thing that all these characters in this specific tier and going up, most of these characters are going to have access to reversal, some sort of reversal option select. And so what it is they're going to just press the reversal. If this is like classic anti-Millia / chip tech that if you have a DP you should probably be using, but you just do a super one-way, but you press 2 buttons. So here you can say I'm pressing K and high slash. And if they crossed me, then I just get FD instead. You basically, with these 4 characters, you can't block them when they guess correctly, and they can guess correctly 50% of the time, and the other times that they're wrong, so say that Nago does, you know, reversal forward, say I do this, and then I don't have an auto cross set up, which would be nice. But say I do this, and then Nago reversal forward, then if I cross him, then of course he can just block. He has to eat, you know, your high-low that Millia has. So now, you guessed it, Millias are getting desperate here. We're getting real desperate here. At the top of the pack, the leader of the bunch, you know him well. and our other worst matchups. Curious how they're so high on this tier list, huh? So Potemkin has an amazing reversal option, by the way, called yeah, you probably wouldn't know it, but Mega Fist backwards. It's something like plus, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it's like +4 and on block, and also it's only actually not airborne for like 2 or 3 frames, which is exactly what Potemkin needs to not get hit by your disc. So if you try to go for normal DP safe mix, like you would against any other character, you're gonna get destroyed. You see how annoying this would be. I'm gonna mention this lastly just because Potemkins actually never do this. I don't think it's that great. Or at least past the 410. I don't see Potemkins ever do this. But she can grab you out of it if she does like a FDJS. You know, just a little fun anti-Millia, little tidbit for you Potemkins. I know you guys need help. The matchup's not bad enough. So Zato can actually almost entirely always force Millia to flip a coin. But how? He stole my own disc. This disc is not loyal. He does just get to completely start his turn with Drunkard Shade. I'm not too knowledgeable on Zato, so I don't know how good this is. But if he does guess right, you are kind of screwed. And if you do like this... Oh, sorry. If you do like... It's even hard to do like a follow-up option if he takes your disc. Now, there is counterplay, and the counterplay is don't be put in this position. So what I didn't tell you is that this only works if you have a scaled 2D combo. So if you do 5k 2D, this is what I would consider scaled for Zato. He can do this. Now, what's not scaled? Close slash 2D. He can't do it. And that's why. Because close slash has better scaling for Millia than 2k. Like the gravity scaling is what I'm talking about. So Zato, like technically, as far as we understand, lands faster whenever you do this combo. You're like less advantageous than when you do this combo, or you do raw 2D. Or when you do this 2D, I think is also fine. But if you get 2D any other way, say you do this, then you have to maybe worry about this option. And he does have to guess right, and there is one other little counterplay. So Leo, this is also one that's really, really painfully obvious, is that he doesn't really need to guess because of his DP input. Whether you're going left or right, he can always hit DP. And I've mentioned ways that you can punish a lot of others, like Potemkin, and then like you have to guess right or IB if it's like Eno doing super or something. But against Leo, we do have a crumb of things we can do. We have something. Of course, you can hard call out him doing DP because this is why it's a coin flip, just because you could be like, hey, can't press that button. Now, the problem really comes for Leo whenever he has 50% meter, because of course he can DP RC. So then this becomes, when Leo has 50% meter, you have to do options like this. Gotta hate Leo. Well, what is after flipping a coin? Does Millia even get to mix anymore? Let me tell you. At the bottom of the pack, we have only second to Leo himself, May. What the hell does May have? This is not fine. This is totally not fine. And then, this should be illegal. You cannot punish her when you go straight up. You fly in the air. You take a triple jump whenever May hits you with 6p and you instant block. So, yeah, good luck with that one. The problem really comes in when they're using this to OS against 6p backwards. So, In front, they'll just block normally. But if they do the 6P backwards, then how do you call them out for doing this? There we go. Okay, I wasn't buffering it properly. Okay, so that's the only way that you can consistently call out if they're doing the OS backwards, is to do a buffered compel. We'll make it whiff. So meterless Mei just has option to one of the best anti-Millia reversals in the game, and if you FD it, you get punished, and if you don't FD it, and you instant block it or whatever, you just lose your turn completely. But yeah, this option is kind of terrorism. I mean, I really don't even have to go into them too hard. Next is Chip and Kai. Chip is incredibly annoying because when you try to... when he guesses right on which direction that he gets to DP, and unless you exactly IB it, you always lose your turn. Because it'll pretty much trade at 90% of distances. So outside of doing something like double jumping, you know, hard calling it out, crossing up with triple call, crossing up with compel, you have to be kind of sharp on this one. There we go. Besides doing like those three things, like if he guesses right, he gets out. What can you do? That's the only way to punish it, is IDing it into close slash, and then he's not high enough for relaunch, so that's also annoying. Maybe it's HGP is the reason. But yeah, look at this stuff. There's no way you're getting a second air dash in before you touch the ground, but it hits you in the air. So you have to be like pretty close to frame perfect to get actual mix right here. Outside of just like side selection. And I guess you get technically like a 2K on either side, so it's like technically a coin flip in some ways. And then you might be like, well, isn't it the same thing as the other tier? Yeah, but this tier is more complicated. Okay, and lastly we have the Gold Dick himself. Alright, Gold Lewis is the most annoying character that I've labbed against ever. He's officially unhinged. There's like so much that goes into this character against Millia's 2D Oki. It's actually insane. So first of all, I'm gonna start with something very simple, and it's that of course he has the best XP in the game, and it does not matter what. Like I know, like Gold Lewis having the best XP in the game, I'm like high on some crack right now. But in this context, it is the best XP, period. Probably just better than Maze only because he can do it even if you hit raw 2D. But yeah, if he hits 6P, he can also immediately special cancel into Behemoth Typhoon, so he gets his turn. You could just do 2K. You could do down back. You might get grabbed if you do this too close, but you have to be crouching down back whenever he hits 6P. You don't want to be caught blocking, because if he blocks, your disc leaves, you don't get the punish, and he gets to start his turn. So you have to FD if you're gonna air dash. And if you're gonna air dash, you have to do it immediately if you're worried about this move. You can compel if you compel low enough in front, and then behind, you literally have to do this. That's literally it. You have to FD and you have to 2K if he 6P's behind. So the anti-land 2K I talked about, it's gonna get smoked by down system level 1. You can't double jump. You can't just double jump. So you have to also, it's just a knowledge check. You have to compel during the screen freeze, and if you do, it raises your hitbox enough. But yeah, if you're trying to like go behind him, and he does this, you're always air blocking it. So much like Maze 6P, the realistically, the only way you're punishing this if he does this OS backwards, is IBing it, which is possible, but it's a 4-frame after the super flash. So it's a different timing than every other reversal in the game. But if you get it, you can't always punish that on reaction because you have 4 frames after the super flash. Just don't be pressing anything before that. Everything past these 3 tiers is where it just gets really messed up. I mean, you could argue that the ordering is wrong, but the more important thing is that everything above the 4-way mix, everything above the 4th tier is like, they basically have a way to flip a coin against you at some point. Leo can always do it. He's either going to DP or not DP, but with meter, it's not safe. So for Millia. So when Leo has meter, he can always flip a coin and be safe. 50% of the time. And then similar things for these other characters. They can decide the right direction and then DP and then RC and then they're fine. If they decide the wrong direction, they can maybe block your mix. So it's like also a flip a coin sort of situation. Gold Lewis is just the most nuanced situation ever, and I really don't know how to quantify him, but the mix is just like very annoying to do, and like do your combos you get off of calling him out for doing 6P with like 2K is like very bad combos, and he's a heavy, so like there's not really a really great solution for Gold Lewis. It's just you have to, if he's doing some sort of option select behind, you almost have to hold it, or you have to do like an IB. Wow. So only punishable realistically on IB in the corner on same side. Let's try cross now. Like sometimes the 214P drops. Nice. Okay. There's a small beacon of hope. We have some slivers of light peeking out from the edge of the horizon. There's a possibility that if you are the god Millia, you can in fact punish this if they guess right and don't have RC. God bless. Yeah, so basically Millia's pretty good. You can't really counterplay against her because she always could just pick the right option and IB your move and cross you up all at the same time. We'll put her here tentatively as like top 3, I guess, in this very, very objective tier list that if anyone has a problem with me, they can take it up with my lawyer. Yeah, basically, in these bottom 3 tiers, Millia is eating fine. Like, she has no real problems. The fact that you have to IB these 4 is like annoying on air block, but whatever. I mean, I guess we take those L's. Honestly, supers not being punishable on air block is the most whack shit, but you know, whatever. And then above these, it's like you have to either have like the most insane knowledge check and do all the math, do like yes, well the spacing is exactly two close slashes away, and a 2D if the sun aligns properly, I can hit this buffered FD grab on Zato. That's a pretty big reward for all the work I just did. And then others, I mean, some of these are more straightforward, of course. Like Pot's pretty straightforward, and he can't like RC out of it really effectively. And then these characters, you know, if they guess right, they just guess right with meter. And then May is like not straightforward. Screw that character. Gold Lewis is like probably not this bad. You know, BMAC loves to like throw like realism inside all of my conversations. Like, I'm not just figuring this out to figure this out, but probably isn't that bad just because Gold Lewis has the matchup. Just because he can reversal backwards and you can't really do a lot to stop him except IB. It's just, it exists, and if you want to play around it, you're going to have to hard call it out. You can't just like go for like 4-way mix or some shit. You just have to guess. And you know, gambling's okay. That's why they have Faust mains out there. We're doing pretty well. That said, I do have some other random pieces of tech as like a little extra content. You've heard of the FDOS, where you press 2 buttons, right? Now, what if I told you that Gold Lewis has a 1-button OS with directional inputs? So Gold Lewis hits 6P. As it turns out, it's the same button you use for a super, right? Gold Lewis can, on Millia Wake Up, mash the P button and do super input. And do super input backwards. If Millia does forward, then he'll get 6P, and if Millia does backwards, he does down with the system. And down with the system, you know, for the most part, it just gets him out of the mix. Like, both situations basically get him out of the mix. Right, if he gets 6P into, it's this. This is the one. Okay, so nothing too crazy about that. Nothing too crazy about that. When you put them together, you start to wonder if Millia has mix. If it is something that exists, I'm sure it's like not really humanly possible to do. So it shouldn't matter in the long run, but it's just interesting. You know, I wrote a script and did work on this, and then I still had stuff to learn as we were making the list. Akame told me about the wonders of the fake Geo DP, which is actually better than most characters' DPs, apparently. So, you know, there's still more to this list. Maybe Happy Chaos is actually the most fucked up of them all. We just don't know. But I think that's going to be all for tonight. Hope you guys, you know, stay frosty. Have a good one. You know, take care out in these trying times. And don't get hit.